Hey everybody, Tim Charron here. I teach singers, songwriters, and bands how to book great gigs and explode your music career. And I am right in the middle of this whole series, this 30-day musician motivation month, and in the middle of the series on how to book your first gig. I want to thank you all for all the comments and everybody. I've been getting tons of new subscribers, so I really appreciate you guys jumping on board and being part of the crew here. So today we're going over sound. So this is under playing your very first gig and what to use for sound. Now, I have been playing solo gigs for probably 14 years, and I went about 4 or 5 years where I played hundreds of solo acoustic gigs in bars and restaurants all over the country, from Key Largo to Key West, in South Florida, a lot up in New England where I'm from, a lot in Nashville, Tennessee where I lived, and some in California, Germany, Costa Rica, all over the place. And it is, in my opinion, it's the greatest way to build your career, is to play tons of solo acoustic gigs. And that's how I made a living. Sometimes I would play 5, 6, 7 days a week. And it was a lot, but it was a great training ground for me. So I learned all of these different things. And one thing that I learned was what to use for sound, how to run my own sound. And at the beginning, I had a pretty big sound system with the powered mixer and the big heavy speakers, 15-inch speakers, I believe, that you put up on the poles. And that was kind of overkill, but I was using it also for some band stuff, and I didn't really know. I just went out and bought a PA, not really thinking that, gee, maybe I should use a more economical, easier, efficient sound system than a full PA that's really for a band. So what I landed on, actually, this is amazing. Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of when I bought this product, and it's one of my favorite products I've ever bought in my whole life. One of the other ones being my Honda Element, my 2005 Honda Element that I bought brand new. Absolutely amazing car. I still have it. We're going to be on 250,000 miles soon. So drop a comment congratulating me on almost 250,000 miles on my tour vehicle, my little Honda Element that I have named the Bummer. And I named it the Bummer because when I bought it, picture the Honda Element, it's kind of like a box, and it was all black. But in my mind, it looked like a baby Hummer. Bummer. So there you go. There's my story. I'm sticking to it. So what I landed on for a sound system that is unbelievably amazing. Number one, the sound quality is amazing. The price, it's a little bit on the higher side, but it's so worth it. Like I said, literally yesterday was my 10-year anniversary, and I've flown with this sound system. I have used it everywhere. I've used it at schools, at theaters, at every bar and restaurant you can imagine. And the sound quality is amazing, so it is way worth the investment, and it's the Bose L1. I know a lot of people use Bose, even for bands, they use the bigger Bose. Sometimes they use 2 of them. And I know a ton of people that use this Bose L1, and I'm going to show you guys the actual unit here. So, of course, if you're listening to the podcast, try to check out the YouTube video so that you can actually see it if you want to. But the great thing about the Bose is, in everyday usage, is that it's so light and easy to use. There are no cables. So this is basically the whole unit right here. And it comes with 2 long kind of sticks that you put in, and then these are speakers, and then this goes up so it's elevated, and then you have the bass speakers at the bottom still. And it's super easy to use. There's 2 channels, 2 volume controls, bass and treble. You can plug in a, like an MP3 player, and all you need, you don't need any cables except for the power cable for the Bose itself. And if you want to go out and do solo gigs, you can just plug your guitar into that and then plug a microphone cable into that, and you're good to go. Sometimes I'll use it with a harmonizer. Sometimes, I've done trio gigs with it, and it sounds great. It's so much louder than you would imagine because of the way it's designed. It fills up the room. There aren't any dead spots that you get from hanging like 2 speakers. There are no dead spots. It really fills up the area. And I can't, I can't stress anymore how much I love this thing. It's amazing. And it's super light, super easy to carry. You can't go wrong with the Bose L1. So sometimes I'll use a little teeny tiny mixer with it, and plug in a few more microphones, and maybe like a microphone for like a cajon, another a line for another guitar, and I'll play trio gigs with it. Actually, I rehearse with it a lot. I bring it in. I'll have the drummer play with rods, so that it's not as loud, and then I'll use that just for vocals, and I plug my acoustic guitar into it for a full band rehearsal. And then we will rehearse with this tiny little Bose for the vocals, and then we'll go out and we'll play shows for 10,000 people. It's pretty sweet. So let me know if you have any questions about the Bose L1, if you have any questions about any of this series on how to book your first gig. Just drop a comment, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you for all the support. It's growing like crazy, so I couldn't be happier. I really appreciate y'all jumping on here. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. The podcast, The Charron Zone, is available everywhere podcasts live. And if you haven't already, grab that free guide that I wrote. It's my gift to you. It's on how to book gigs the easy way, and it is at howtobookgigs.com. See you in the next video.